Right, well, I thought Krusty Krushers were going to come back to watch their final matchup of the evening, but they did not, so instead we are going to be doing it without them, and it will be Krusty Krushers versus Microfish, so this is a very odd one, because both of these teams have suffered a 3-0, but now they're going to get a chance to get their first victory on the board, so let's see how these squads match up. I'm very interested in this one. A deathmatch to start is going to be, I think, a little bit of an advantage for Microfish, as they have more DPS. You can, like, get around the map and stuff, and Winston isn't very good in deathmatch. I don't think Sim's okay. Sim might be okay here. We'll see. Okay, here we go. As you can see, Winston just kind of doesn't know what to do here, man. Although first pick goes the way of Krusty Krushers. Looks like Microfish is taking the lead here, though. And Genji dashing through the sim. Yeah, like I said, I think Krusty Krushers are a little bit at a disadvantage here against Microfish. I think they excel when they're doing damage. Genji just popping the frick off back there. Genji diffing them. Wow, this is crazy. Microfish are actually insanely good at this game mode, I think. Oh, Zen does fall. Sim doing some things. So, Krusty Krushers making this a little closer. Sim's popping off here. Genji has two beams he has to contend with here, and that's going to be a little bit rough for the fish. Zen will take out Sim. Back here, they're taking out the Winston. And Ash just killed herself, which is going to dock them a kill. Brig pushing up. She's getting beamed down a little bit. Here comes Genji getting beamed as well. Tracer stuck in that beam. Brig gonna take down Sim. Tracer for Winton. And the Genji get Ash. Is that absolutely popping off? Here comes the blade though. Huge blade. Winston's just gonna fall over. Anna getting kind of juggled and stuck. Oh, and she does eventually go down. Genji is gonna fall. Winston is nanoed. He's looking at the Zen, but he's just not quite finishing the kill there, and he instead will be the one dying. As Microfish making a statement here on deathmatch. Looking very, very different than they did against Rush Hour. Anna taking out Zen. Krusty Krusher's getting something started. Here comes the Bob. The Bob is just going to go off the map, though, unfortunately. Not a great usage of Bob coming out from the bot. And holy cow, this Genji Tracer combo is eating Krusty Krushers alive on the deathmatch map. It seems like AI, or Microfish, is just on another level on this deathmatch. And then Krusty Krushers. Both of these teams did suffer 3-0s earlier today, so a little bit odd seeing Microfish playing so seemingly well here. Almost diffing Krusty Krushers completely in this deathmatch. Haven't even got half of their kills. Microfish going absolutely ham in this matchup. Well, when you lose earlier in the day, you gotta feel good coming back like this and just steamrolling a team on deathmatch. One or two more deathmatch maps, and you're gonna be feeling really good about this series. If you are Microfish, rolling into these deathmatch maps, I think is your strong suit, and you are gonna like it when this happens. I think you might be one of the strongest deathmatch teams. Unfortunately, other maps might not go your way as much, but there are more deathmatch maps than others in the thing, I think. I think there's quite a few that are active. I've only activated the ones that are exclusively deathmatch. So those include the old 2CP maps and deathmatch maps. So I think there's more than regular maps, though, in that category. So your chances of getting those are a little bit higher. But still gotta hope for it. It's still like gambling. Especially your team is very, very strong in deathmatch, though. Microfish barely even struggling against this Krusty Krusher squad. I think it's going to be a lot different when we move to different map types here, but deathmatch, they got a lock on. 1-0 Microfish. Looking tough to beat on deathmatch. Okay, now we're going to be heading to Nepal. So Koth map. We'll see if this goes any differently. I kind of am anticipating that, yeah, it will. I think Krusty Krushers will come on top. That's just my opinion. But could be different. Remains to be seen. We'll see. We'll see. Sometimes deathmatch is very different than what actually happens in matches. Sometimes it's just an even bigger example of why what is happening in the match is happening in the match. And I think for this one it's going to be something completely different here on Koth. I think got a little bit more of the I think this favors Sim a lot more, having to be hunkered down on a point as the bots like to play. So here we go, Microfish versus Krusty Krushers, map 2. Series not exactly close, a lot of 3-0s today, but I do expect that to change with some of the matchups we've seen. Okay, match gain very low. Anna's kind of stuck. I think that maybe Zen might go down here, he will. But wow, okay, Microfish making short work of Krusty Krushers here. And I am thoroughly surprised by how good Microfish is doing. In comparison to their last match, they looked quite inept against Rush Hour, but here against Krusty Krushers, they're looking a little bit strong. They are indeed looking a little bit strong. Alright, here comes Krusty Krushers. Gonna get on this point. Zen absolutely fragging out here. Wow. I am thoroughly surprised. Microfish just absolutely stunting on them with the Zen Tracer Genji Brig comp. Not what I expected to see, to be honest. I kind of thought the tank would be a little bit better with the Ana, but they're just kind of getting rolled here. Maybe Winston is just not the play. Might have been my problem the whole season. Okay. Okay, here we go. Sim putting in some work here. But she's not able to... Oh my gosh, a pulse bomb for a turret is absurdly goofy by the Tracer there. Really wanted to make sure she got that. Here comes Winston. Posturing up for another fight here. He's going to get on this Tracer. do sleeper, and she's gonna die. They actually combo off the sleep for once. Brig is gonna get the Ana though. Unfortunately, for Krusty Krushers, you basically win one fight, but lose it because of a tracer, and then you just lose the map. Well, I'm shocked. I'm genuinely shocked. Microfish is, you know, this is just the power of Zen, I think, right here. Just proves how powerful he can be with a couple good DPS on a squad. I think Rush Hour might just be one of the top, maybe 2 teams in the league. I think them versus AI is going to be a good one, but, man. Seeing this just makes me believe that the team that they lost to is just that much greater. Alright, here we go, Microfish. Second point. See if they can just continue this dominance. This is where we saw some funny things from Microfish earlier. Today they were Genji and Tracer kept hopping off the map. And here we go again. Looking like this is not the map you want if you are Microfish. Lots of people like hopping off. Starts off with Tracer doing that, and that's not what you want to see here. And now this is a little interesting because now Krusty Krushers have the point. And part of you has to think, are we going to be able to get into this fight against the Sim? That is where a lot of teams can struggle. And now that Winston has the point, and those turrets are up, they're going to shoot at the turrets, it looks like, a little bit. They do deal with a couple of them, but they are back almost immediately. And Genji jumps off the map. Oh, and yeah, this is what Krusty Krushers want to get set up. When they get set up on a point, it's hard to take it from them. So, now I think Microfish are going to start to struggle here. I don't know if it's going to be the same on the next point, but they really made me eat my words on that first point when I said, this is going to be better for Krusty Krushers, and then they just like came out and 100-0'd them. We'll see here, though. I think now that Krusty Krushers have points, now I think this is where they'll start to excel. Microfish going on the flank here. They're going to get on the Ana very quickly. However, Zen is going to fall. And that's the trades don't favor you if you're the attacking team. Usually. And that is going to be that. And we look like we're going to be heading towards another fight here. Tracer gets stuffed immediately. Dynamite thrown into the void, as well as the... Oh, Monkey gets booped off by the Brig. Huge boop. So they are going to be able to take a point or a fight here. It's just a matter of, can you maintain this without also yeeting yourself into the void? Zen and Brig, first of all, for their squad in that fight, they're coming back. Got a big ask. You gotta win at least 2, maybe 3 fights to take this away from Krusty Krushers. Genji's in there. He's deflecting. Oh, Tracer. You hate to see it, and I think that's probably just going to be it here for Microfish. So Krusty Krushers are going to take the second point on Nepal, and we're going to be sitting towards that next point. It's going to majorly depend on if Krusty Krushers can take it first, I think. And if they can get their setup going. It's going to be hard to win with no tank of your own in that scenario. Even if you get a fight like you did here. Alright. Third and final point on Nepal. Whoops. We will see which team will walk away with this map. If Microfish will go up 2-0 in the series, or if Krusty Krushers will manage to take a map and send us into further play, at least map 4. Only seen 2 games go past 3-0 today. I'm hoping to see a little bit more this season than we did last season, but seems to not be the case. It seems to be a very 3-0 heavy format in which we play. The fact that teams never change is going to limit success against other teams. Okay, here we go. Zen goes down first, and this is not what you want to see if you're Microfish. This is a car wash and a half. And like I said, I think Nepal does favor Krusty Krushers a little bit more here with the sim. Going into that Winston sim without a tank of your own can be a little bit, can be quite rough, to say the least. Alright. And we're really beginning to see it excel here. Zen is going to go down to Ana. They're going to get on this Ana, but the nade is out. The turret's not exactly everywhere yet. So, Tracer can put in some work, but she's going to go down. Just Genji up and Brig. They might be able to get something started here if they can get the sim. They do not. Brig is going to fall. And the Krusty Krushers do endure. So, Microfish. Gotta start looking to get something started here. Squad is a little bit in the dumps at the moment, but that first point just looks so good from you, but now falling over a little bit against the sim. And that seems to be how the rest of this point is going to go down. As Microfish is just getting rooted here. They did a very good job on that first point, I will say. And that first point is one of the best sim points in the game, so. Zen doesn't get antied. He doesn't get out with his life, though. I don't know if we're going to see a touch here, hopefully. Hopefully we do. See one more fight. Tracer's going to get slept. Uh-oh. Can they get the touch? Yeah, they can. Zen is going to go for it here. Genji's in there. He is antied, though, and that is really rough, because now he's... Oh, the car wash. Oh, the car wash. Okay, so that will be the second map going Krusty Krushers. So now it is a 1-1 game. Ash absolutely popping off at the end there. Getting 3. And that will bring us to a map 3 with a 1-1 score. Which means this series could go either way. As we have seen, deathmatch really favorable for Microfish. I don't know if any other mode is favorable for Microfish, though. That remains to be seen. Okay, Throne of Anubis. This could be a little interesting. This could be good for Microfish. I could see this being good. We will see. Haven't seen this map yet. Season 2. Overbots. Definitely saw a lot of it in Season 1. What is Zen doing? He's petting Brig. Look at that. His hand is going over the Brig's hair. He's petting her. Okay, here we go. Microfish versus... I almost said the Blazing Magi just because Winston was there. But no, this is Krusty Krushers now. Here we go. Genji going down pretty low here. He's antied. However, Ana's going to be the first to fall, actually. Zen, quick to follow. However, Sim put in some good work here for Krusty Krushers. Just the 2 DPS alive for each squad here. Oh my, Genji popping off. Genji and Tracer just really good dive DPS, frankly. I think they're the best at doing dive and bots, at least. Better than the 2 dive tanks. Better than Sombra. Alright, here they go. They do take the first points of Microfish. Looking a bit strong. In a lot of these neutral fights, in a lot of these fights where there's no setup happening, but when there's some setup, can quickly go south for Microfish. As eventually Krusty Krushers will be taking B, and we're gonna head back to center stage pretty quick here. Yeah, I don't think there's gonna be touch, so we will be heading back to C. Microfish are in a good spot just to kind of take it for a bit and defend it. So oh, Monkey getting absolutely shredded. However, Zen feeding a little bit here. Brig is going to go down too, and now all of a sudden it's a 2v or 3v2. Which, I mean, you gotta trust in your Genji and your. So Genji does eventually go down, so now it's only Tracer on point. I don't think Tracer can do this 1v2. So that will result in a Krusty Krushers taking C here. We're going to be heading to D pretty quick. Oh my word. There's a recontest here, but is it enough? Bob goes a little bit south, but I don't think it matters, as Microfish will lose the point here to Krusty Krushers. And we'll be heading to D. Krusty Krushers, Microfish. Really looking at an interesting matchup here. Gonna get on that Tracer. Tracer's gonna get slept on point here. They're gonna. Oh, Tracer gets up and finishes the Ana, but too little too late. Her sleeping might have costed her team a little bit there. It's basically like a temporary death with the way the bots use it. They, but you respawn right where you are. Because they don't really combo off of it. And now we're gonna see an attempt on E here. Definitely one of the harder things to take as a. Oh, there's a big nano though to keep up your Winston here. However, both support ults are going to be layered. Ana's going to go down first. That's not looking too great here for Krusty Krushers. That's looking like an easy take on the side of Microfish. And now we're going to be heading to point D. Alright, I'm seeing if the Sim can get her set up here before the other squad makes their way over. Looks like the Primal's immediately going to be coming down here. Kind of a big anti. Actually, kind of a massive anti. Holy. Zen traded for Ana, however. Wow. Okay. Sim and Winston putting in some work. Winston corralling the enemy team. And not dying, crucially. And Sim just putting in some damage. Will allow this composition to take this D point. Now they're going to try to take E here. No, it's so hard to do so. Basically a free point for the whoever's defending. Winston is going to get stuck, but he might be able to live. Alright, so yes, it does look indeed like Microfish is going to take this point. And will lead to D again. So now all Yep, now all the squad needs to do is win this, and they will, Krusty Krushers will be winning this map, most likely, and sending us to a map 4 here. It will be 2-1 if Microfish, well, Microfish can't contest, so yeah, this will be 2-1 Krusty Krushers. And you gotta be hoping for a deathmatch map, pretty much. I think that is your best chance at winning for Microfish on any given game against any given team. That is where your team excels. Alright, Alto. Okay, so we're ending on S score. Well, if Krusty Krushers win, I think this could actually be fairly decent for Microfish. An S score map. Create some of the same weird scenarios that a deathmatch can create, I feel like. We'll see though. Krusty Krushers going to be on the defense first. They currently lead the series 2-1. Closest map here has been Nepal. Nepal was fairly close. That last Clash map or whatever it's called, it wasn't really close, but the score always looks a lot closer on the map because it's so dang impossible to take the last point. It's not a very well balanced game mode in my opinion. To be frank, they need to fix that. It's way too easy to take the one close to your spawn. Therefore, it's way too easy to win a point in that game. If you just purposely lose the first two and then have them keep attacking your spawn over and over again. You pretty much keep the score near even, and then you just have to win 2 at the end and you win. But wow, the sim strat is setting up early here. We do see a couple trades though, which is good for Microfish because it means they'll probably be able to get out of the spawn trap. Unfortunately, Winston... Okay, no, Winston should go down here, so... Trade should not matter here for Microfish. You're going to be able to start on this Rialto. Alright, here we go. Krusty Krushers coming back to contest Microfish. 2-1 lead for Krusty Krushers. Zenyatta's going to pick off Anna. However, Brig is going to fall to the sim turrets. Monkey getting 1v1 by Zen. Sim throwing out of some extra damage there. Don't know what I'm doing. Recording's getting kind of scuffed. Okay, Getchy's gonna dive in there on the Ashe. Ashe does kill herself, basically. And that is gonna result in Microfish being able to push up here. However, Sim does get the Zen. Sim does get traded out though, so I think Microfish can win this. It's just like Winston up, so yeah, you're good. You gotta push the payload though. Just Winston up. Winston gets kind of hard countered by Tracer too, so should help. Winston will eventually fall. And now there's 2 minutes on the clock here. Sim does get a turret set up. Brig is slept in the back. Ashe will go down though, and Anna's quick to fall. So Sim not gonna be much use here alone. And that will be first point going away at Microfish. So they do manage to push through. Give themselves 4 minutes on the clock. And they have a 4-stack of ultimates coming up here. And without that Zarya curse, they will actually be able to use them. Don't know why my Zarya is so cursed in my bot games, but she is. Zen gets 2 before popping his trance, so it's a 2-on-2, but with a trancing Zen that's backing off. I think actually Tracer, oh, well, she could have won that, but instead she opts to dash into the water. And instead, they will use the Genji ultimate just to kill the Winston. Alright, Microfish making their way through Rialto, having a relatively good push. Here comes Krusty Krushers. We do get to sleep on the brig here. That huge anti coming out from Ana is going to get the Genji killed. However, Ana's going to get traded out, Zen traded, and then Ash traded, and then Brig is going to fall, and Tracer yeets herself into the drink. And that will be a reset. Opting to reset instead of dying. Probably a good option, actually. I know jumping into the water and killing yourself doesn't normally seem like the best play, but a surprisingly smart play by a bot, even though it was mostly done out of stupidity of bots. Who? Oh, Bob. Bob is soloing on point here. Bob is a very strong ultimate, especially when he's placed like this. This is actually a well-placed Bob. And he's going to finish the job here. That is what you like to see on the defense there. If you are Krusty Krushers, that is a good use of a Bob. Monkey's going to be back by the time this Genji gets here, so there's not going to be too much card progress gained. And a great hold from the Bob. The car wash is going swimmingly for Krusty Krushers here. So they do eventually get the Zen and the Tracer there. Microfish struggling on the second point attack. Stuck about halfway through. Zen absolutely frying here. Winston just backing off, realizing he's probably not going to win this, but even though he is backing, he's probably still going to die here. Can't quite get away. And he will go down. I don't know if we're going to see... Looks like we will see them not get a contest here. Weird way to say that, but we are going to be on third point. Rialto here. Microfish putting together a pretty solid offense. However, Brig is going to fall. Ana traded out though. Tracer. Genji have been harassing her all game. And Zen just chilling in the back here, doing what Zen does best, just fragging out absolutely menacing overbots. Alright, here comes Microfish. Krusty Krushers stopping them right here. The Zenalt plus the Transcendence, or the Transcendence plus the Blade, I mean. And the Brig ult. So much disdain coming out here. I think we're actually going to see a full push from Microfish here. Unless we can get one more contest on the side of Krusty Krushers. It's going to have to be a good one. No ultimates for either side to work with, though. Not a great use of dynamite, however, Brig getting very low. Unfortunately, though, for Krusty Krushers, oops. Getting a bit off the payload here. However, Zen's going to get the touch, and I believe that is going to be a finish with 2 seconds on the clock. 2.2 seconds on the clock. Good push by Microfish. Looking pretty good on this Rialto attack. Might be stronger on these payload maps. Remains to be seen. Seems like 1-2-1 comps kind of struggle actually on payloads, which is funny to me. A couple 3-1 comps, and then I think this is the only 2-2. I think this is the only 2-2 composition. We have 2-2-2 compositions, but they're different types. There's a 2 DPS, 2 support comp, and then there's a 2 tank, 2 DPS comp. And I think the 2 tank, 2 DPS comp is better, but that's only because I guess I haven't seen them face up against Rush Hour like I've seen this team face up against Rush Hour, and I think Rush Hour is one of the better teams. We'll have to see though. There's a lot that could happen. I think that a lot of this has to do with just different matchups, can go different ways. So it remains to be seen. This matchup seems heavily map dependent between Krusty Krushers and Microfish here. Big dynamite. Does get Genji in it, but no one else really. Never mind, I thought there was at least 2 in that. Quick team fight victory here for Microfish. Good start if you want to bring this to a map 5er. However, Zen getting traded there. Not the greatest thing that can happen here if you are Microfish. However, clean work here by Microfish. Just clean up these kills as they come in. Brig getting pretty low here. Brig will eventually go down on a sleeping Tracer into the drink. Don't know if we've seen that. Don't know if we've seen that too often. And that will be a little bit of progress gain for Krusty Krushers. Gonna have to do a full push if they want to make this a 3-1 and have a better offense than Microfish on the consecutive round. Tough ask for any team there, but Zen going down first, it's not exactly ideal for Microfish. You lose a lot of your extra damage, losing that Discord Orb. And Sim and Winston being on the same team means it's a little bit harder for this Genji to get work done. Krusty Krushers making their way up for this first point. Nice thing about this year in Overbots is every team has like at least one S tier on their squad, which I think makes these games a lot more match dependent. Like I think match to match we're gonna see very different versions of each team, and map to map even. This Microfish, despite not being a tank, they seem to be pretty freaking good on certain maps. There has been, like, deathmatch seems to be where they excel. So if they roll into a deathmatch map, I think they can just beat just about anyone. Maybe. AI might be one of those exceptions. They're pretty flippin' strong. Best 3-1 comp we have in Overbots. Oh my word. Tracer popping off in the back line here. Sim and Winston working together to take out that Tracer. We'll have a Bob coming up soon, as well as a Primal. Well, I don't think the Primal is going to get used in time. I think he is going to expire. Yeah, he will. Nanoed Bob! Actually, beautiful, but unfortunately, 2 ults to counteract it. I really want to see the Nano Bob put it in work, but that is an unfortunate no. Seeing very different teams this time around than Overbot's Season 1. It seems like the Mauga squad, for the first time we've ever had Mauga be on one of the lower end teams. He seems like a lower end S tier, as I've been running him. I think those nerfs really did actually get to him more than we knew. He was just on a good squad that really helped him to excel. Winston is getting on the... Look at Winston back there. He's about to kill 2. Oh. Brig does get away, but she will eventually fall to the damage of the Ana, of all things. And that is a pretty clean fight altogether from Krusty Krushers, as they are looking to take the second point. Probably we'll see one more contest here for Microfish. Maybe. No, we will not. Okay. Alright. No one touching the payload here. They do get to this third and final point. Could see full push here. Here comes Microfish, making their way downtown. Genji's gonna get right in there. He does get antied. Sim turret is on him. However, Ashe is the first to fall. Oh, and a big pulse bomb by Tracer. And the blade, but a little bit of ult over, maybe some overexpended ult usage there by Microfish, as they use 3 ults to win that fight. They will have the rally for this next fight, which is a very impactful ult, especially in 4s. It will be against this Nano, and it will probably get applied to Winston, I imagine. Winston gets 1. Ana. So I think they're finally going to take this payload. Brig might go down here. Oh, she does just barely live. Oh, nope, she will go down eventually. Okay. Genji's going to fall. Zen's going to fall. Tracer's still up. Tracer about half HP. She will eventually fall, though, to the scrutiny of the Winston. And this will likely be where they finish the push, but if they get on the payload, that is. And 30 seconds on the clock here, so they're gonna... They will attack second bombs next round. See how quickly each of these teams can get out of spawn, because that is really gonna be what this is about here. Which team can win 1-2 extra fights? Who's gonna have the big OT push? That is going to be who likely wins it. Can Microfish get a long OT push here, or will Krusty Krushers? That will probably decide if this is going to a map 5, or if it ends right here for Krusty Krushers. It's a very interesting matchup we got here. And stay tuned, because next week we will have more overbots at some undisclosed time. Trades will be opened pretty much at all times, except for during when matches are happening. So whenever I do matches, just don't make trades. It's that simple. No real cutoff time specifically. Just if I'm doing matches, try not to trade. And if you do trade, don't tell me till after, because I want all the matches done, and all the matches will be done with the same rosters. So with this new overbots, we are seeing pretty much all the bots being played every week, except for one, who will be a free agent bot. He just kind of sits there. Holy cow, what a great push from Microfish. However, Tracer just knocks herself into the drink. She really likes falling off the map. She's a very good bot. She just jumps off the map way too often. It's kind of funny. So that you get a first fight win, so that's good. If you are Microfish, you have a pretty good chance at getting pretty far on this push. It's just a matter of, can you win this next one? And if you win that one, can you win the one after that and that? If you can do that, you're going to be in a really good spot to win this series, or win this map. Anyways, this is not a map 5, excuse me, this is still map 4. Sure. Ash trading out the Brig there, however, Genji gonna get the Ash, and this is looking like could be a good push for Microfish here. They're keeping the series alive. Or do they? Oh no, okay, they do touch. Gonna get on this Ana. Ana's gonna go down, and the push continues as long as they stay on the pole. Oh my gosh, stay on the cart, stay on the cart, stay on the cart. They get off the cart, they get off the cart. Oh my word, they're back on the cart. Oh my word, they got on the cart. Oh my word. That was so bad. That was so bad. That was so bad. This is gonna get real sketchy real quick. It's all gonna be about how long can this team stay on the cart? And I think they're doing it long enough, to be honest here. They're doing it more than most teams would, I will tell you that right now. They will get this first checkpoint, but once again, they have to stay on the cart. Oh, don't get off the cart. Don't get off the cart, Zen. Stay on the cart, Zen. Payload, 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 payload. Okay, Zen is on the cart. Microfish doing a very good job of staying on this cart. This overtime push is getting very far. It's getting towards that point where I think almost Krusty Krushers are probably not gonna win this map. It's very likely gonna go in Microfish's favor. Like, I think this is far enough already. Unless Krusty Krushers do something insane on their attack as well. So here comes the blade. Could be very impactful. Zen might be stuck. Zen drops himself into the drink. That is... And they C9. Okay. So that's where the cart will end. That's going to be a matter of, can Krusty Krushers get there without C9ing? Because they're also going to have to do that in overtime. Not enough time they can do that in just regular time. So can their overtime push get there? Usually you'll see a C9 before then, so I don't think Krusty Krushers are going to win this. I think we are going to a map 5. Our second map 5 of the day. In between probably two of the lower tier teams in the league, but still exciting nonetheless that we will have a map 5. I am so down for that. It does suck that it's at the end of the day when I kind of want to go to bed, kind of want to go play Monster Hunter, and that's about it. Alright, one more attack here on Rialto to see if Krusty Krushers can surpass the Microfish on that excellent OT push, or if they'll get stumped here and lose a ton of fights. We shall see very shortly. It's going to have to be a great push from Krusty Krushers, though. If you lose your Ana quickly, it could suck. Okay. They don't. Instead, Zen will be the first to fall here. And the trades are going in favor of Krusty Krushers. Oh boy, can they push the payload? Okay, they are on the payload. Ana will be back with more than enough time for this next fight. So it's really going to be, can you win this next fight? It's going to be a very similar story here. You need to win this next fight as well. And then you need to win the fight after that. You pretty much need to win every fight. Same story. Genji very low. Okay. So that was actually one fight where maybe you could afford to lose. Because you have 30 seconds, you have 20 seconds, and I think they have enough time they can recontest. So there's the one fight Krusty Krushers afforded themselves to lose by having more time. So I guess you do get a little bit of an advantage there. You can afford one more lost fight. Genji's getting on this Ana though. Oh, Ana diffs him. And now it's just Zen and Tracer. However, just Sim on point and 2-on-2, and you have the Tracer. I think Tracer's... Oh, okay, Ana. Putting in laws at work here, trying to keep her Winston alive. Can she touch the payload though? She does, but she's going to go down for it. Winston, I don't know where he is. He's not going to touch, and Krusty Krushers are going to drop this map, and it's 2-2. So we are going to a map 5. Please, just for the love of all things holy, don't be a payload map. There's so many payload maps today. It made this day go by so long. Payload maps just are insufferable to get through. Please just don't be a payload map, whatever you are. Don't be a payload map. Please, please, please. 2-2 heading into this final map, and man, I am just hoping and praying for no payload. I'm honestly thinking of just, for my sanity, guys, I'm sorry if this alters the result of this match significantly, but I don't want to do another hybrid. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just turning it off. I'm just turning it off. I'm not doing Rialto again. We can't do Rialto twice in a row. That's dumb. This is the last map of the day, and I am tired, so I'm going to go find something shorter. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everyone. Competitive integrity out the window. I don't care. Rialto, we are so close. We are so close. Circle. Why? No. But I'm gonna have to turn off all the maps. I just want to re-roll it into one. Oh my. Chat. It really wants... Okay, deathmatch. You know what? It probably favors Microfish. I think both map types favor Microfish anyways, so... It's fine. It's fine. I think Escort also favors Microfish, but this one might favor him even more. So, sorry, Krusty Krushers. You could still win this, I think, but this is just going to be much faster than another freaking payload map. Okay, whoa. Well, that went a little bit differently than I expected. Sim getting 2 off the bat. Genji going to go down 2, so a little bit of advantage for Krusty Krushers off the gate. My dog is freaking out, I don't know why. Ash catches Tracer. Brig is going to get traded for Ash. 5-2, 3-point advantage coming in for Krusty Krushers. Genji slept in your center stage. However, I think Sim is going to go down here. Maybe not. She does manage to keep herself alive, but she will eventually fall. Microfish holding a 6-5 lead here. Krusty Krushers, like I said, I think Microfish is favored a little bit on this deathmatch. I think they were favored a little bit on Escort anyways, but... Oh my word. Zed picks off Sim. I'm sorry, Jojo. 1 second, dude. I will tend to your needs shortly. Microfish firmly in the lead here. They might just win this 3-2. Absolute slobber knocker of a matchup here. Ana does get Genji. Brig gets Sim. Genji does get the Ana. Okay, so this is... Hey, okay, Ash is putting in a lot of work here. Trying to keep this close. 9 to 12. Zen gets the sim, however. Just a 3-point lead as Brig is traded out. Very freaking close deathmatch so far. Not quite as dominant as the last one. So, even though I think Microfish is slightly, Ooh! Okay, Krushers getting back right into this one. Bob putting in major work here. And now it's 14-14, so... Even though I think Microfish are slightly favored here, it is going pretty well for Krushers too, so I think this is fair. I think this is fair. I don't feel bad about doing that anymore. If Krushers got absolutely smacked around here, I'd feel bad, but they're doing okay. Genji solo, how does he win that? How does he win that, chat? Eventually Brig will go down, so 3-point lead maintained here a little bit. Do bring it back, so now it's a 4-point lead for Microfish. Comes the Primal. I think Zen's gonna fall here. Uh-oh. Oh, no, okay. I thought for a second there something traumatic was gonna happen to Microfish, but we're good. Thought it was something absolute. Okay, Sim gets a pick, so just a 4-point lead here. Still a pretty strong lead if you are Microfish to have now 5-point lead. Genji missing the dash on the on the turret will never not be funny there. Brig getting down half, dies very quickly. I think Genji could go down here any second. He does. Zen gonna fall actually. Zen going down very low. He will fall to the sim turret. 2-point lead for Microfish here. Very close deathmatch coming through. Ana's not gonna fall. She gets out alive. Now Tracer will take her out. Wow, that happened in like a millisecond. That was insane. Okay, Tracer doesn't fall though. 2-point lead maintained here for Microfish. Genji picking up that Ash. And Genji will fall to the sim. 1-point lead. Very close deathmatch here. 2-point lead. I think... Okay. Could be even if Monkey just jumps on this guy. Oh, wait. Zen diffs him. Zen diffs the Monkey there. Here comes... Oh no, she sent the Bob off the point. That's not good. Here comes the Blade and the Brig ult. Oh no. Sim is going to die there. Extended to a 3-point lead here. However, I think Zen's gonna fall. Big nade. 3-point lead here, so it's gonna go to 4. Very close, but I think Microfish just has this one. I think this map just slightly favors them. Like I said, I do think Escort also favors them in this matchup. Monkey's just getting pin cushioned. It's like a bunch of people are just focusing fire into him. However, Brig is gonna get a similar treatment on the opposite side, but now it's only 4 points away, and all of a sudden it is now a 9-point difference. It changed very quickly. It has been close at sometimes, but sometimes it just goes dominant in one way or the other. Ana's gonna go down. Oh my word, only one more kill needed. I don't know where it's gonna be, but I think Microfish are going to claim this victory. It's probably gonna be on this Winston. Oh, nope. It's gonna be on the Sim. Or whoever that was. Microfish winning a 5-mapper against Krusty Krushers. Goated series. Would have to recommend watching this one. Peace.